Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here. So the Washington Commanders are making a ton of moves today. So in this video, I will be talking about J.D. Mckissic and the Washington Commanders agreeing to a 2-year, $7 million deal. And we're going to talk about how this helps the Washington Commanders, what made J.D. Mckissic change his mind, and much, much more. And then after that, I will be posting a video talking about the 4 players that the Washington Commanders plan to release. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss videos like these. And also go ahead and follow my Twitter. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on there. Now, let's get right into the video. Man, what a crazy day for the Washington Commanders. I mean, they have made a ton of moves today and likely will be making more, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And they made so many moves that I have to make 2 separate videos for this. So again, this will be the J.D. Mckissic one, and I'll talk about the other moves in the other video. But I mean, this was a very, very surprising move right here. I'll read it from Adam Schefter. He says, running back J.D. Mckissic, who intended to sign a 2-year, $7 million deal with the Buffalo Bills, changed his mind and is instead returning to Washington for the same compensation. So I love to see it because, you know, 2 years, $7 million is a really good deal, in my opinion, for J.D. Mckissic. Even if he is going to be used less than he was last year with Wentz, I still think it is a very good deal and is good value. 2 years, $7 million. I mean, that's $3.5 million a year. And again, this is just what we're seeing right now. In like a day or two, these deals, you know, the details of these deals will come out and it'll look a little bit less. And usually deals, the cap hit is a little bit lower in the first year than it is in the second year. So at least they were able to bring back J.D. Mckissic. The only thing that I'm wondering about, I mean, it was such a, it's so little money, $3.5 million in terms of salary cap, and they had the space. I don't know why they didn't initially offer this. And I mean, I guess there's a little bit of reasoning. So Adam Schefter says, background on the change of heart. Washington initially didn't offer J.D. Mckissic a deal until he agreed to one in Buffalo, which I don't get at all, per both of J.D. Mckissic's agents. Once Mckissic heard Washington was willing to match the offer, he didn't want to leave. So that is definitely some great loyalty by J.D. Mckissic, not only picking Washington over Buffalo, that's something right there, but also, I mean, after Washington didn't even offer him a deal. That to me is crazy for J.D. Mckissic to do, and it's crazy that he chose a Super Bowl contender for the same exact deal he chose Washington over a Super Bowl contender. I mean, I don't know. He has some familiarity here, so I guess that plays into the decision. Staying in Washington, same coaching staff. He's been here for 2 years. He's been succeeding, and he gets a decent, salary. 2 years, $7 million deal. Maybe there's some incentives in there. I saw the Buffalo deal was 2 years worth up to $8 million. So we're going to see the details of this deal, but I love having J.D. Mckissic back because last year he was our second or third best offensive weapon behind McLaurin and maybe Gibson. You could argue either Gibson or Mckissic, but J.D. Mckissic is very, very valuable because, of course, he's a great pass-catching running back. We all know how good he is at that. He is probably, I would say, a top 3 route runner as a running back, and overall a top 3, top 4 pass-catching running back behind Kamara, McCaffrey, and maybe Austin Eckler. He's solid as a runner. Not amazing, but solid. He can get you some big plays, occasionally. 212 rushing yards this year, 4.4 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. And again, he only played about 10.5 games this year because he did get hurt. And 397 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in 11 games. So I mean, he was on pace to get about what he did in 2020, which was great, 600 yards. And I don't expect those numbers to be the same this year, especially with, Carson Wentz, who does not throw much to running backs. I think it'll change a little bit with, Carson Wentz throwing a little bit more to running backs than he usually does, but at the same time, Mckissic won't get as many targets as he was getting from guys like Heineke, Kyle Allen, and Alex Smith especially. But McKissic, great leader, great guy in the locker room. Players love him. Like I think someone posted on Instagram that J.D. McKissic was coming back, and then so many of the players in the comments sections were, super happy about him coming back. So that is great news. It fills, if McKissic was gone, we had a major hole at running back, so that fills that right there. And we did it at a very, very reasonable price. $3.5 million a year is really, really good value in my opinion, and it might even be less than that if we really look into the details of the contract. He's still relatively young, 28 years old, and it's such a low risk deal. I mean, the only thing I guess that you could say is kind of risky is the neck injury. We don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully he's all good, because he was out for a while last year. He was out for 6 games, but we will see. We will see. But overall, I think it's a really good deal for the Washington Commanders. But I'm just really curious why they did not offer him a deal. I'll read this again, kind of similar to what Adam Schefter said. But Washington never made an offer to McKissic. They said at the combine they wanted the QB piece to be resolved, but didn't offer even after they traded for Wentz. When he agreed to the Buffalo deal, Washington turned around and matched. I just don't understand that, because they knew, regardless of what quarterback they had, they knew McKissic was going to be very, very important to their team. They knew he was going to be cheap, and they knew that they could create cap space one way or the other. I didn't think that they would do what they did, releasing the players, some of the players they did. I think they could have done it in a lot of different ways. This front office, in my opinion, yes, they can hit on some guys, but one of the biggest faults, in my opinion, of this front office is their inability to be creative in terms of creating cap space. You look at the Saints, they were like over the cap by $80 million, and now they're, one of the front runners to land Deshaun Watson, whose contract is $40 million a year. Like, think about that. And we're trying to release key players because we want to get some more cap space, and we didn't even, offer J.D. McKissic a deal. It's ridiculous to me. And if you're going to release the players you did, why not release them a couple of days ago, so then you do have the cap space for guys like J.D. McKissic and some other guys on the deal. So I don't understand why they did not offer him the deal. Yes, they only had $6 million. Like, they had like 6 point something million cap space, but they knew they would have cap space for Landon Collins. And to me, though, this is somewhat concerning, the way this front office is working. They got who they wanted. They got J.D. McKissic back, but barely. They are so lucky that J.D. McKissic, decided to come back, because if that was me, first of all, I would have probably chosen Buffalo over Washington. Let's keep it real. They're a Super Bowl contender. He's going to have a prominent role there, and they offered him a deal right away. We didn't. Like, to me, if I'm McKissic, I would be, I would have been like, okay, whatever. I'm done with Washington. I'm going to Buffalo, and that's fine. But he decided to do what he did, and I'm happy for that. I love J.D. McKissic, and let's hope he can continue to ball out. Let's hope he can, because he's one of the best pass catching backs in this league. He's able to help block for the QB as well, and he can run the football pretty well. He's pretty elusive. He's somewhat quick, and he can make some guys miss. So thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Video coming literally right after I upload this video. Peace, guys.